The name's Mabus, and skill-based matchmaking has been a hot topic in the gaming world for the last little while now, and there's no surprise as to why. Most of the players are being deliberately paired with each other of similar skill level and forced to try their absolute hardest every single game, just for a below average enjoyment experience. And if you ask me, the effort to enjoyment ratio just isn't there. When I'm gaming, I want to have fun. I want to play the game. I don't want the game to play me. Let's start off with the fact that skill-based matchmaking forces meta play setups with no variety. Let's break it down, shall we? In a game like Call of Duty, where the entire design of the game is based around getting killstreaks, using different weapons, unlocking camo for said weapons, skins for your operators, and for all of you completionists out there, to finish every single challenge and medal in the game. So answer me this: why in the fuck would you add a system like skill-based matchmaking into a game that completely destroys the well-tuned system of Call of Duty that has worked for well over a decade? In a world where everyone is equal and everyone goes 1-to-1, why in the hell would you even have killstreaks? You'll never get them. You'll never mathematically get more than one kill in a life in lobbies that are true SBMM, especially since you need at least 3 for the worst and cheapest killstreak. Not to mention the ones that are around 15. And so help you if you try for a Moab or nuke. So doesn't that make the streaks redundant? So there's no point in even having the killstreaks. Might as well just get rid of the entire tab on the menu screen. Oh, but Mabus, the killstreaks are just one thing, and maybe you'll get lucky enough to get a few in a row. Oh, but wait, there's more. Why don't we take a look at the weapons now? In a society bombarded with information on the internet and analyst videos done by the likes of Exclusive Ace and Drifter, who break down the stats of each weapon that eventually lead to one superior meta, why would you use any other weapon? Especially in skill-based matchmaking lobbies. I'm not blaming guys like Ace or Drifter for making their videos, because they can actually help you discover something you didn't know that you could use in your own kit. Tailored to your own playstyle, not just to exploit for meta things. And a lot of times guys like Ace and Drifter get blamed for making too much overpowered meta, but in reality, if it wasn't for SBMM, people wouldn't have to turn to them in necessity. Instead, they would learn cool new things that they didn't know about the weapons and strategies that would best fit their favorite playstyle. Instead of just being forced into the meta mold style just to satisfy the SBMM. Because with skill-based matchmaking, you can't even relax, have fun, or even try something new. If you use anything other than the one meta weapon, you get destroyed. Simple as. If you doubt me, then let me refresh your memory in one simple phrase. DMR zone. I'm sure you remember that abomination, where if you used anything else other than the DMR, you were deleted back to the menu screen faster than a Trip's rage quit.
And it's gone!
So then why would we even have different weapons in each category? Because most of them will still suck compared to the meta anyway. There's no point in even having anything else. Hell, why don't we just get rid of every weapon entirely and just have one gun that is full auto, with no recoil, or range drop, and has amazing mobility? We don't even need to have a name for this weapon. We'll just call it the gun. Oh, but we're still not done yet, because the camo grind isn't even possible with SBMM. You have to run around with different inferior weapons while everyone else abuses the meta while wearing their favorite color of tryhard panties. And just to make matters worse, you have to run around using these inferior weapons in an unusual manner in order to complete the challenge. Something that used to be fun and different without SBMM, but now it's just a rage-inducing, exhausting grind that isn't even worth the new scratch on your gun. So not only do you have to use the non-meta weapons in sweaty SBMM lobbies, but the strategies for using this weapon itself isn't even the meta. You mean you want me to leave my head glitch with my cheap gun overwatching your only spawn choke location that won't flip, only to push them with a knife for slide kills? I don't think so. I like my head glitch. So now the camos and the challenges will join 98% of the weapons and killstreaks in obscurity. Not to mention the player skins that everyone uses because they're so damn overpowered. I'm looking squarely at you, Rosethorn. So why do we even have these customization tabs in the menu screen? With skill-based matchmaking, you might as well just remove the weapons, killstreaks, and operators because only 2% of it will ever be used. At the very least, it'll save data space on your next gigantic update. If the meta loadouts weren't bad enough, skill-based matchmaking forces annoying playstyles. Because you just know that somewhere there are some dirty, sweaty kids who haven't showered in weeks who are just sitting on the looking for group page of their console, just waiting to join 3 other gamma-sipping nerds so that they can finally win a game of Warzone and tell their moms. So that their mom might one day be proud of them and maybe they'll earn a sticker for the fridge. These kinds of exploiters will do absolutely everything in their power to gain even the slightest advantage in every category of improvement. I'm talking tuning their headset settings to turn off the music and crank up the footstep volume.
Mawp.
I'm talking using meta weapons, meta characters, meta perks and strategies, camping, bunny hopping, drop shotting, jump shotting, cameraing corners, head glitching. The list goes on and on. Hell, I'm willing to bet that if they had the option to play in black and white because it would give them the slightest, almost unnoticeable frame rate improvement, that they'd be willing to do it. They would ruin their experience just to get every slight advantage in the book to combat skill-based matchmaking. And who can blame them? And we wonder why we have a cheating epidemic. Now, despite what the devs say, ping is not king. I may be a few books short of a library, but I still know how to read. And the ability to read and remember my ping during games is one of those things. And for the developers to deliberately lie and try to hide the fact that they favor skill-based matchmaking so hard is quite offensive and completely disrespectful to their customers. It's one thing to want to have SBMM, it's quite another to blatantly lie that it isn't in the game and go as far as saying that connection is more important than an equal skill lobby. Now, I know that my connection in rural Western Canada isn't the greatest to start with, but when I see my ping get progressively worse throughout the year as my skill increases, it's sketchy like fuck, not to mention completely frustrating. I went from a 70 ping in Warzone at launch, to 90 after a few months, then to 110 halfway through the year, then to 130. And as of now, a normal ping lobby for me is 150. Does someone have a calculator for this shit? Cause it just doesn't add up. Not only do I have to play against people that are equal to my skill level, where each matchup is generally a 50-50 fight before you factor in connection, but now I have to do it with inferior ping, that probably doubles if not tenfolds others in my lobby, which decreases those odds of winning a gunfight from 50-50 down to about 10 and 90 in favor of the other person. If equality is so goddamn important in this system, then why the hell don't I feel the equality love in ping? Not only that, but I notice a significant rise in the amount of time it takes for me to join into a simple game. If a game like Call of Duty Warzone is so popular, to the extent it is bragged about as one of the most popular games on the planet, then why in the fuck does it take me 5 minutes to join a lobby? Same goes with standard multiplayer. If it was so popular and populated, then I should insta-join lobbies. But I don't. And I'm sure I'm not alone.
Okay, why are we still waiting for players? Let's go to zombies. The game is severely broken right now and it wants us in the top of the top. And I want nothing to do with it. So we either play zombies or we go like Minecraft because we've been waiting for over 5 minutes straight. Probably close to 10 minutes. And it has yet to get us into a game. Dude, this is one of my biggest reasons on my list of why SBMM should not be in the game. It just...
You can't tell me. I'm on quick play right now too. There's like 4 modes. Like you can't tell me that we can't get
you
to
can't. Especially too when you backed out of that face-off and we joined another one. We had 4 people and it was looking for 2. We were literally just left the lobby of 2.
Ever notice that they don't have the number of players shown in each game mode anymore like they used to in MW3 and Ghosts? Do you ever wonder why? Because they don't want you to know how much they are fucking you with SBMM.
They fuck you, they fuck you, they fuck you!
Because if you only knew of all the people who could easily join your lobby, all while your ass sits on the menu screen waiting as the game expands its search for more players, you would lose your mind. Yet the game is populated by millions at any given time. And here I sit for minutes on end in 2021 trying to find 2 more players for a simple multiplayer lobby. The same players you've seen several times before. But wait, isn't it supposed to disband the lobbies now so you get different players? Modern Warfare 3 on the Nintendo Wii could pump us into lobbies and have us playing within 45 seconds and cycle the games fast back in 2010. Why the hell does it take so long in 2021? SBMM, ladies and gentlemen. SBMM. Tell me, when you boot up a game of Call of Duty, do you want to play it with friends? If you do, is it more fun than playing solo? When I play online, I prefer to do it with friends. I still play by myself from time to time, but it's not as fun, and it is more of a time killer than anything else. Which is usually when games like Zelda and Minecraft come out, not Call of Duty. In fact, some days if the squad isn't online, I end up just shutting the console down and doing something else entirely. And now skill-based matchmaking has just given me one more reason not to play their game. And not being able to play with friends because the SBMM isn't average between the squad and goes off the highest skilled player in the group is exactly that reason. Now sure, averaging the skill level could be exploited, but tell me something about this flawed system that isn't already, and I might consider your defense for skill-based matchmaking. If there even was such an argument. The fact that I have to get repeatedly destroyed each and every lobby just so I can play with my friends online is not only a painful and frustrating waste of time, but for the guy who is the skilled player of the group, now they have to fight entire squads of similarly talented players 1 versus 4, while simultaneously carrying their teammates, all while having shit connection. Explain to me how this is fair and equal. Don't worry, take your time. You're going to need it in order to think of a reason. Plus, you ain't joining into a lobby anytime soon. Furthermore, remember what I just said about getting destroyed in lobbies where I clearly don't belong just because I like playing with friends? Well, get wrecked enough times, and your SBMM stats will become skewed because of it. When I get repeatedly obliterated in trips lobbies, my stats drop to such a horrific degree that when I do decide to play on my own, I become an unstoppable monster who slays and embarrasses every single person in my lobby because I am used to fighting kids way more skilled than I am, all while on crappy internet connection. But now in my properly skilled lobbies, my ping is similar to theirs. Go figure. And I run around like an animal, effortlessly executing and embarrassing kids who, according to my SBMM, are in the same skill bracket as me thanks to my stats from trips lobbies, but in reality are so abysmally bad that I end up unintentionally reverse boosting with the help of skill-based matchmaking, simply because the game totally misread my situation. Oh, the irony! So the SBMM system that they tried so hard to implement so that they can protect everyone's safe spaces, yet again, after all their work, not only fails, but ultimately ends up doing the exact opposite in the end. So once again, I beg the question, why is it even in the game? It's so redundant. Just take it out and save the data space. Or at least use it for some better ideas. You know, just throwing it out there. Speaking of reverse boosting, many people exploit reverse boosting just so that they can have fun in crappy lobbies instead of always trying to compete at the top level in theirs. And now all of those noobs that SBMM tries so hard to protect are now all bunched together in one area, just waiting for a slaughterfest.
Okay, you kind of went the other way on that one, didn't you?
Instead, however, of slowly and widely spreading them out and integrating them into normal random lobbies by just having them join a random game based on best connection, where typically there are about 1 to 2 sweats, 5 to 8 average okay players, and 3 to 5 noobs. This way they could gradually improve at the game at a natural pace instead of being spoon-fed easy people until they are all eventually herded into a lobby with a sweaty reverse booster who has absolutely no competition on the enemy team, just licking his chops and frothing at the mouth to pub stomp the ever-living shit out of the thumbless noobs. Not to mention, if it was a natural, random lobby, the sweaty kids would probably not be running the meta equipment because they wouldn't need to. Sure, you would run into a couple virgins here and there, but for the most part, the sweaty players would be trying to run joke weapons or going for executions. Simply put, they would just be having fun. Something that you could never do in a skill-based matchmaking game. The name's Mabus, and the very premise of what SBMM is trying to do ultimately backfires in the end. So really, there's no point in even having it. It just takes up valuable data space that could be used in several different other ways to help improve your game, instead of finding ways to squeeze an extra few cents out of your customers in order to boost your quarterly report by 0.01%. Here's an idea. Why don't we just focus on making the game good instead of trying to control the outcome of every single player? Just let the game be fun again.
That actually makes sense.
And if skill-based matchmaking were to be removed, this is most likely how things would pan out. At first, it would seem like a mistake to remove skill-based matchmaking, because there would be a bunch of sweaty tryhards utterly destroying noobs for a few weeks until they've all blown their satisfaction load that has been brewing ever since the inception of skill-based matchmaking. And once that little stint is over, most of the sweaty kids would return to just having fun with their favorite weapons and playstyles, instead of using the meta. And they would do so in a more relaxed manner, which technically would reduce their overall skill level, further averaging out the lobby naturally. Everyone with a decent connection to the internet would have similar ping, and you could once again play with your friends and have fun, which is what games are initially designed to do. Be fun. So why not just let them? So in the meantime and in between time, stay tuned for more.